Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Did everyone get an agenda?
No.
They're right up here. I'll pass them down.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a chance to look at the agenda. I don't know if you want to add anything. I move for the approval of the agenda.
So moved?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comment, we don't have any public. Recreation coordinator, he
What
isn't
about the
here.
minutes? The minutes from last time that I sent out a long time ago. Yeah, I sent them out a long time ago.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you sent some out.
I should,
It's just been so long. It's been so long.
so, we're ready for a BOT report. And if you turn your microphone on, you know you're on
So-
here.
For the record, though, can I say that the minutes are approved without changes?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
No public comment.
Yeah.
Recreation coordinator, not here. BOT, that's me. You weren't here when I just said what I said, but Monday night in the board trustees meeting, they determined that, I say they, we, I have to say we because I am one of them. But they're gonna get rid of all committees,
Including ours?
yes.
Oh,
they changed their minds on Monday night, just this week. I just found out yesterday.
oh, wow.
And they're going to have a committee formed that is Parks and Rec and Senior Services and Bath
Senior
Fest.
activities, probably.
Yeah, and Bath Fest and,
He gets the farmer's market too.
yeah, the farmer's market
Everything's gonna roll into one.
into one. And it's gonna be run by whoever, I don't know who. Karen will decide who that is, because everything reports to her now,
So there'll have to be how many members on that?
and we don't know.
And it will be
Must be at least
staff.
5, right?
And it will be staff.
Yeah.
Staff only?
I don't think so, maybe.
I thought you were saying it was.
No, it
I'm
has to.
confused now.
Instead of reporting to the board, it now reports to staff, which is
I
Karen.
see. I
And-
thought you were saying that the people on it were gonna be.
No, and she's
Am I
going to
missing- okay.
determine who is going to be on it.
They will
And
answer
whether or
me.
not, we don't even know if she decides that, a board member will be on it, you know, like I am right now.
She being Karen.
Karen, yes.
Okay.
It's all under her control now. And, we don't know how it's gonna turn out, and we did vote on it and approved it, but
Were there 3 negative votes?
yes. We also made the caveat that if it doesn't work out, we're gonna take it back and put community back on it.
Because right now, as it is, the Board of Trustees appoints all these committees. And the committees report to the Board of Trustees, who appointed I'm sorry, and then
Everybody.
the trustees say, Karen, we want this done, right?
Right.
But now, there are no committees except Parks and Rec, well, except Recreation it's called, under
And-
which they'll put senior activities and the farmer's market. James will be the staff person, he's over recreation. And the recreation committee will report to Karen. And if additional members are needed for the committee, Karen will appoint them. And the board has nothing to do with it.
And
So
we
it
don't
also
know,
can be loaded with people that are all of like mind,
All Republicans or all Democrats?
or all, yeah, and not any kind of, combination of different viewpoints, different demographics in the community, et cetera.
and in the past, if you were interested, you know, you all had to do it, fill out a form and hand it in. And then Ryan, the supervisor, would appoint you. And then the group, the board would vote on you to approve you, which always, well, one time, somebody was not approved, and that was me.
Oh, wow.
But that's another story, and that's 10 years ago.
I wasn't approved.
Oh, really? For this?
Yes, for this.
The first time.
Silas Rose, you know who he is?
No.
Rose Lake, Rose Cemetery?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Silas Rose, yes, now.
Yeah, my 5 great-grandpas. That's me.
Really? You're the Roses.
5, yeah, from that line. Went to Bath High School, National Honor Society, top 10. Live in this community and own land in this community for my great-grandpa, not 5 greats. And because Marie Howe suggested me, I strongly suspect that's why I was dismissed out of hand
By,
by Ryan and the board.
Interesting.
They said no, and someone in the audience said, do you know who Deb Johnson is? Because they were confused by it, and so it kind of got rediscussed later, and I later was approved.
you wrangled your way in.
I, I just thought this would be a great opportunity to serve because I had a lot of experience
Well, when
in the
there's a-
senior world. I mean, not just being a senior, but I've provided care, been primary caregiver for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I've known 3 of my great-grandmothers and helped care for them.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, I have a lot to bring
If
to the
an
party, so to
individual has a
speak.
modicum of qualifications, you know, and is truly interested, then
Yeah.
I'd
But
have a
it was
hard
like,
time.
nope.
I'd have a hard time saying, no, we're not gonna let her in there.
I had a woman who was at an event that Ray and I were both at last night who said to me that she had come into the senior center and offered to volunteer. She said she would be a greeter, she would help with cards, she would help with serving meals, and they told her, well, we don't need volunteers, you can just go away.
Who told her that?
Someone at the senior center,
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Someone at the senior center told her that?
yeah. I mean, and there was another woman there last night who said that she would like to volunteer at the senior center as well. I mean, people are just turned away.
It's just wrong. People that want to help and be a part of things, I mean,
How
how can that be wrong?
How can that be a bad thing?
Well,
Yeah.
How can that not, like, lift up your community?
how I look at it is they don't look at the senior center like we do. That's what I think that's
Why?
it.
I
Because,
think-
maybe it's because they're not seniors, I don't know.
I
but-
think it is because they're not seniors. I
Yeah.
think it's very much a view of us as, get off my lawn, you kids. I think that's how they see us. Based
Kinda,
on
yeah.
everything that they've said to us, based on the fact they've tried to paint us as being unreasonable.
Well, and it sounds like they're,
Um,
I say they, staff and Ryan, appear to label this as a service, instead of a, how would I say, a warm,
Collaborative partnership.
yeah, and a warm fuzzy place for seniors to go to commingle and feel like they belong, you know?
They're valued.
Is there going to be any oversight?
Can you speak up, I'm sorry, Jean?
Is there going to be any oversight over Karen's appointments?
I don't think so, unless it's, you know, really controversial. And I asked that question, I said, you know, how are the committees gonna be made up? How, you know, are they gonna, am I still gonna be on this or not? Are we gonna have a board member on, you know, these committees? They hadn't really hashed that out yet. That will happen all after the first of the year. But, so, myself as a board member, I certainly will be looking at it, you know, and monitoring the progress or lack thereof to see if, you know, I can make the motion, you know, to Ryan to put it back on the agenda for us to talk about it again, so. That's, you know, I wanna see what's going on too. But that's pretty much all I know.
And personally, I think it's so disrespectful that they don't even send a representative to our meeting.
Yeah.
How
You know,
can they
to-
know what's going on here, what we would like, right?
Right, or to thank us for our service.
Isn't James supposed to
I
be
mean,
here?
Wouldn't that
yes,
have
he
been
is.
nice?
He
Wouldn't that have
is.
been
Oh, you
nice?
mean because we're being disbanded?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
shouldn't
a
they
good-
For the
be
last
here?
one?
That's a good point.
I mean, isn't that just a bunch of malarkey? Disrespect,
Yeah.
continued
Well,
disrespect?
It just goes to how the people on staff view this board and the service. That's my opinion.
I don't think they understand how necessary it is.
Yeah, that's
And I
exactly-
think,
They don't feel it is necessary, is
Right.
what I hear.
right. Well, and like comments have been made, for example, like when it's really hot out, and how it can't technically be a cooling center, when we've asked, well, could we be open, like sometimes during that? And very dismissive, well, people can, you know, turn their own air conditioning on. It's like, not everyone has air conditioning, not everybody can afford the additional, they just don't seem to have empathy for people who don't have what they have and who have gone through, have a different life experience. And it's, I think about, wasn't it over $1 million that was given to our town for COVID? like restoration, so to speak, like to compensate us
That's where
for
they
what?
got the money to do the road.
$750,000.
It was ARPA funds.
Was just
American-
750? I thought it was over 100. I thought it was over $1 million.
Well, it was, I think,
Yeah.
2.7
Did a
million.
penny go to senior?
No.
Anything for seniors? And everyone knows, and I mean, this shouldn't be a controversial statement, that seniors are one of the biggest demographics that were damaged by COVID. They were isolated, they died alone,
And then it'll be increasing as the decade goes on.
yeah, and not a penny went to them. And I'm not saying that there weren't good things that benefited. I'm not against our policemen that got quite a bit of bonus and things like that. But what they did is they put the money into the payroll because technically they were allowed to do that. And then they just took the payroll money out and put it in the general fund. So basically, it was a shell game.
Well, actually,
With that.
There was $117,000 given to the senior center in.
Given to it?
25. The senior center.
Not
do
from
what?
ARPA money.
No, from the general fund.
And
It's
yeah, but-
basically.
Well,
they're
to cover
subsidizing.
the staffs.
So, but
Yeah, they
that's,
pay
but
wages
that was
and
not,
things
but
like that.
that would have been that way even without that money.
Right,
Yes,
that
So
wasn't
it's
ARPA
not
money.
from,
and that goes just
it's
to.
not as a result of this money coming into this community to help make whole those harmed during COVID. That's what it was for.
Yeah, they spent it on paving and drive. And when we went up against,
I'm just saying that to me, that is a very clear indicator of the value placed on this demographic in our community. That the fact that we could have over 25% of the population be seniors, the fact that the seniors were harmed just so tremendously by COVID, not just passing away, but the isolation and the other things that happened during that time, and that they wouldn't receive any additional funding from those funds. Just, to me, that's a symptom of,
and I think not cooperating with the Tri-County Office on Aging for Meals on Wheels, why do they take those to the library and not to the senior center for pickup and distribution? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It just keeps us separated from other programs and services that are available to seniors through the Tri-County Office on Aging. I sit on the advisory council for the Tri-County Office on Aging, and they want to do a workshop here in Bath at the senior center. And I was sent an invitation, a formal invitation, to have them come to the senior center. Well, what can I do? Well, I go to Karen. Karen hasn't even responded yet.
Wouldn't you go to James?
Oh,
If
he
it's
was
an
copied in
activity,
it, but
wouldn't
I'm
you-
not, this is a more formal thing than James.
If I could.
But wouldn't you go to James if it's an activity?
Yes.
Well, in the future, but this was kind of a formal thing that they were asking, agency to agency,
So can you go to James, since you haven't gotten a response, can you now go to James?
we don't
I could do-
exist after
I could
today.
do anything I wanted to, but the responsibility lies with her.
Yeah.
She's in charge.
But I thought James was the one that we went to, and then James went to her.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to her as a member of the Senior Services Advisory Board. I represent Clinton County on the Tri-County Office on Aging, and my responsibility is to her. Her responsibility
So-
is to the community.
Okay, so that's,
She fails.
that's why
you have
you
to-
did that, okay.
You have to bring that up again, I would.
Yeah, I have to. I mean,
And I
But we
would-
have,
they
and we've
want
been
an
told we'll
answer.
look into it, and we'll.
Well, I would bring it up
and they
again and
just
again
don't.
at every board meeting, get up to the lectern and say it.
I don't know,
And I encourage all of you to do that if you can.
I have done
Come to the
it.
board meeting and do it.
I've done it before, and
Exactly.
they said they would look into it, and nothing ever comes of it. And
So
it,
what-
and it's exhausting. It's exhausting this exercise in futility is exhausting, and it's disrespectful, and it's a reminder of this attitude, like you're not the boss of me type thing. And it's unfortunate, because this board there's so much knowledge and passion and compassion and experience
There's so much
and
we could do.
skills, yes, that are being just
And that we
dismissed.
wanna
It's
do.
so sad. I don't understand why you wouldn't Oh my goodness, I've served on different boards. I've served in different ministries. When someone comes to you and says, I want to serve, tell me what you need, tell me how I can help. You don't turn that person away. And if the way they're serving is in any way problematic, you take them aside as an adult to an adult respectfully, and you say, this is something I want you to work on. This is something that maybe we could do better. You're respectful. You don't just say, you have no value here and we don't care about that. You don't do that. But they do here. And it's a sad. We've tried. We've tried. All we can do is vote for a new board, honestly. And I hate to say that because I don't want to sit here and be some, anarchist, so to speak.
You're being an American, because
Yes.
that's
But I'm just like,
what we're
why?
supposed to do.
Why is this such a, why is it so difficult
That I don't know. You know,
to try to improve your community and to serve? It's like a gift. You're being given a gift. Years ago, I'm just gonna tell you this story real quick. Years ago, I got a home makeover. Some of you know this, some of you may not. It wasn't the nationwide show, it was a local company that did it, but it was on TV. And a friend of mine came to me and she said, let the guys know that are doing this makeover that I will feed the crew, I will, help with putting people together and bringing in help, and I'll do all this. I don't want to be on TV, I'm just offering to help. And this woman is like Martha Stewart. She is so gifted and so creative and such a hard worker. And so she hadn't heard back from the guy who was running the show, and I said, have you heard from her? Oh, yeah, and I said, you don't get it. You've been given a gift. You need to look into this. And he did, and oh my goodness, they couldn't believe the things that she did. The first day, they said, you know what, we actually could use a meal. They called her, and within an hour, she had submarine sandwiches for everybody, and then said, if you need this, I will make this happen. She had people signed up. Meals are being brought for the crew every day. She helped, like design things that, because she knew my taste. I mean, it was just, I'm just saying everything. That's how you treat someone who is coming to you, offering you their skills and their resources and their gifts. You respect them and you put them to work. And you say, thank you. Thank you for bringing all this to the table. Look how much better the world is because of you. And that's just, to me, that's kind of like ignorance to turn away from that.
I don't understand the animosity, to be quite honest.
I
And it's
don't
not
either.
because I'm a senior, it's just, I don't understand the animosity.
Yeah, there's just a lot of, it's unfortunate. And
And that.
Anyway,
And I will say that.
thanks for listening to the story, because I think
Yeah,
it's,
that has been brought up,
has it?
yes.
Okay. It just makes me sad. This just makes me really sad. That's not necessary.
Me too. So I guess we don't have to deal with any old business. Now, we did adopt a strategic plan for next year, which, do you have a copy of that, Jean? Because, all right. So if you looked on the sheet here, you can see that Nancy, Deb, Dana, and I, our terms expire on the 31st of this month. Jean is here until the 2027, as is Ben, is here until 2027, and Ray, of course, unless he gets reelected, until his term is over as a trustee. So Jean, I've given Jean the parking feasibility study, because in the budget for 2026, they are supposed to do a parking study for the whole campus. And so those issues that are
Who is supposed to? Who is
the
they?
township,
Actually, it's gonna be not just a parking study, it's gonna be an entire reevaluation of the entire campus, and it includes,
but it doesn't
Like
include
offices, everything.
parking.
And
So I
who-
want,
Who is
30
doing
years.
that, Ray?
they will probably hire somebody to do it,
they'll hire a
a
consultant.
They, as
a
in
professional.
the
I say
board?
they, we, I have to keep trying to say we, I guess.
The board?
The
Or
town-
The administration
the
will
township,
hire
the
a
administration.
consultant.
That's a good word, I like that, administration.
Yeah,
But I look, I didn't understand if it was the board or Karen.
It'll be
Well,
Karen,
Karen will do it, but we have to approve that
contract.
expenditure, you know, in contract, yeah.
But you have the parking study that was done just on the senior center. And there's some important points in there, and I just don't want them to forget them. And so if you are, because your term doesn't expire until 27, if you are on a committee, you know, continue to be on a committee, I wanted you to have that study, as well as a strategic plan so that we can continue to move some things forward. And I would just ask if anyone from the board, our board, has any final comments to make. You know I greatly appreciate all your service. Thank you. Ray?
I don't see any reason why you can't at least advocate for the senior center, you know, and seniors in general. And make your, now even more so that there's no committee, make your voices heard, just like I said, you know. I always work
But-
on the premise that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know.
But
And-
Ray, the problem with public comment is there's no discussion.
True.
And so that is not the venue in which to create change or to advocate. Because you can stand up there and speak to the 7 people up here until you're blue in the face,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's gonna say jack anything
They'll
to
say
you.
thank you.
Well,
You
what
can
we
sit
can do
down.
is for you to, you know, plead the case to the board and actually before that, have a board member make a motion to get it on the agenda,
Get what on the agenda?
the senior center.
Oh.
And what's gonna happen. And what will happen right now is that we will say, I keep having to say that I'm part of this, that nothing is cast in stone right now. There's no script at all. So wait until that's done, and then, I mean, I know that's what's gonna be said. So, but I still don't want any of us to, myself included, to give up on this, you know?
If they do a parking study of the whole campus here and decide that we really don't have room for growth and we don't have enough room, and they choose to go somewhere else, then we're not gonna expand the senior center. There won't be any expansion. We'll be somewhere different, correct?
I can't answer that. I'm not even qualified to answer that, but I can say that the feeling is, that I've gleaned from listening, is that they, I'm gonna say they.
We? You?
No, I'm not gonna say we, because I don't agree with it. They're not, I don't see an interest in increasing the size or capabilities of the senior center.
I don't either.
No growth to the senior center? is what
Right.
you're- Oh, really?
And I can't say that that's the edict or the determination. I just think that
The only way they're gonna have growth is to be open 5 days a week.
Yeah.
No, I don't buy that because we've tried that.
Well, one of the things I brought up is that we need to find out how many non-residents are coming in.
A
And-
lot.
And we offered to try to help with that.
Well, you know, you have to actually, you know. they have to-
James is doing a census in January.
Yeah, he is gonna be doing something about that, because I told him, I said, that's theoretically, you know, we're subsidizing somebody that isn't even a resident of Bath, you know, in a good Samaritan way, but that's not our responsibility, and it's not our taxpayers' responsibility.
And therefore,
They
I go back
I
to-
always felt they should have paid more. They should pay more because
well, I go back
it's
to the
still
fact
reasonable.
that the other townships should be helping us.
Well, they'll never
They
do that.
used to, Deb, they used to pay more.
Yeah,
And then-
I think they should again.
Non-residents,
And
you mean, like a
Yeah.
dollar?
Yeah.
Non-residents, you say?
Yes, they used to pay more, and then the last time they changed it, everybody paid the same.
Yeah. Well, I don't think,
That doesn't make sense.
I don't
It
think
really-
non-residents, you know, would fess up to say, well, yeah, I'm not from here,
But
but,
that's the thing, they'd have to,
so what
Provide,
I
you know,
advocated was
proof of
that
who
we
they are.
actually get a system where they have to prove, I mean, you know, what the hell, show
Right.
your
ID.
passport or whatever, just like they make, you know.
Well, you know, the problem with that is, Jean, is your address Hazlet? I would just
My
guess it.
address is East Lansing.
East Lansing.
My address is East Lansing.
Hazlet School Districts.
And
Bath
Ben,
Township.
your East Lansing, your address East Lansing. My address is Bath. What's yours, Doug?
Mine Bath.
Bath. So people their addresses are so different, even if they live in Bath Township.
Right.
That I've asked during that census that if they do live in Bath Township, that they mark their intake form in some way so that we know when we're counting,
Well, there should be a question, what township do you live in?
right? I've
Well,
asked
and
that
there's
before.
also should be, I mean, it's not,
What
this
about-
isn't a huge area. We should be able to say, on Coleman Road, from this number to this number, it's Bath Township.
Well,
You
I
know, there
would,
should be a way to do that.
what I would do is voter registration cards. That's what I think.
Voter registration card to show that
So show that you're a voting, you know, that you
you
have to
have to
vote
show
in
your
Bath
card to
Township.
come in.
Yep.
I agree, that's.
I was trying to think of what.
But what if you're not a
What
registered voter?
what serves that same purpose? Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, well, if you're not a registered voter, then I don't wanna talk to you.
Or
Then don't come to the senior center.
maybe
You're not
everybody that
welcome.
does come to the senior center becomes a member and they
Yes.
have a card.
Yep.
And the card can say resident, non-resident.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I brought up, was why not have a membership? John Reich was who suggested that. He said, you know, in Ann Arbor, at the senior center, they have a membership, and they have to be a member to get served there.
Well, that's true in Williamston, that's true in Meridian Township,
Yep.
that's true
In
in
the more,
East Lansing.
in the more organized senior centers.
Yeah.
Senior
Where they
facilities.
invest-
Let's do that. Can you put that on the,
Sure.
there you go.
Membership, you say?
Yeah,
Okay.
But
Well,
that
that-
indicates resident and non-resident.
That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they pay a membership fee.
they have to show their membership card in
Yeah.
order to get a meal.
And I have to say, James is working on something of that nature, and they haven't put down, you know, a synopsis of, okay, this is what we want to determine. And I will say that a parking study is like way out there of no interest whatsoever.
Well, if they don't know, like, where people are physically gonna be in offices and et cetera.
Correct.
That's the cart before the horse for them.
I thought they had started parking.
Say that again?
I thought they had started the parking feasibility.
Oh, they already did one. Miles and his staff,
That's what I gave you a copy of.
yeah. And they even had drone footage and all of that kind of
The
stuff.
senior center parking report, but don't they now have it on their agenda to do a parking feasibility study for the whole campus, the whole area?
Not just, it's
Yes,
not
they
just
do.
parking.
In addition to that, they're looking at whether or not they have enough building space for future growth.
Right.
And I don't know it firsthand, but it sounds like they don't even have adequate office space for the staff for certain things. They're at, like, capacity. And
Right.
so there's a possibility, you know, we're gonna have to vote on adding on to this or building. I suggested put a second floor on this building, but I don't know if that's even structurally possible, but anyway, that's
Well,
what's.
it's possible. Anything is possible.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Is it?
We've proven
is
that,
it
haven't
Yeah, is it feasible financially?
Yeah. And it's, you know, hell, we might have to bond for it, and what that basically means, we gotta get a loan to put forth the expenditure to upgrade. And then over a period of 25, 30 years, we pay it back. That's, you know, because we're right in a deficit right now, we don't even have enough money hardly to run, you know, from year to year.
And yet,
Sounds like pay cuts
we had
to
a
me.
$4.6
Well,
million
that's
overage.
exactly what they were talking about.
Something doesn't make sense, though.
Layoffs,
That does
whatever.
not make sense when you consider that our property values and our taxes are going up so much to the max of the 5% allowed by law. They're going up every single year.
Don't you need a
That's
raise?
that's a tremendous amount. That's a tremendous amount of money when you consider every single house in this community. And then add the COVID money on top of that was put into basically shifted over to the general fund. Something's not right.
It was put
Something's not
into, new body cameras for the,
The COVID money was spent on body cams
Body
and
cameras and-
body
But I'm talking
armor.
about the money that didn't go to the police. It went in the payroll, because that was allowed with this program, and then that money the same amount was switched over to the general account. That's what Ryan told me.
okay. You know
So-
more than I do, so I don't know where it went.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said it because it was allowed. He goes, and everyone's doing this. All the communities are doing this. And I'm thinking, but instead of basically having it end up in your general fund, why didn't we help the seniors? Like with anything? Nothing. I don't know.
Can you pass
and-
those
and-
back down to her?
This stuff?
That way.
Oh, this
Yeah, but
stuff.
where's
What's
Izzy's?
going on
Where's
here?
Izzy's? That's,
Those are the cards for the staff. Did
You wanna
you
sign
get a
them?
chance to sign the cards, Nancy?
Oh, okay.
Did you sign them in the senior center?
I'm sure my husband did.
All right, the more signatures are on the
Emmett's-
back.
Emmett's in here, Emmett and Nancy, yep, got that. So what else?
And
If it's
here's,
on- if it's on one, it's probably on.
here's the envelope that they came out of.
where's
And
Izzy's
Jean's
though?
taking care of it.
Well, I will say that the
Let's get
card
money, right? But
group,
there's no card in there?
Melissa,
Say that again?
I will say that the card group really kind of held their own.
nothing. for
Because we were
Izzy,
told we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. So we finally
No, just
decided we would just eat at the card tables. So you don't need to tell us we can't play cards, because we'll just eat at the card tables. So that's what we started to do.
You're talking to euchre or?
No, they play hand and foot.
We're playing hand
In
and
the
foot,
morning.
but
I don't know.
we're playing cards.
It's like a
And,
rummy.
and so that's what we did, because, well, their argument was we're really holding two spots, and that was true.
When you're.
Because we
who are
were
you talking?
holding a chair, playing cards at the
Just a
card
minute.
tables, and we had our
Saving.
coats on a chair at the round tables. So we just said, okay, we'll give you this, but we're gonna eat at the card tables. And so we've done that. And so now we can play cards. We can't play cards this Friday because they're setting up for the Christmas party, so,
So there's a group of people, 25 to 30 people, who come in every morning at 9 o'clock and play
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a game called Hand and Foot.
it's a
And they
big
would-
group.
Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, okay.
And they would put their coats on a table in the dining room and go play cards.
At another table.
Yeah, at the card tables where they were set up to play. And now they were told that they couldn't do that. They had to either choose to sit at the card, this is abbreviation, sit at the card table, or, and not put their coats. They couldn't reserve chairs for themselves in the dining room.
So just eat at the table,
So now they
eat at
just
your
eat at
card
the card
table, huh?
table.
So we did.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We advocated for ourselves, and we did.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And it's worked pretty good.
I get the impression that James is gonna be doing a lot of additional things after the first of the year, and be instructed to do, a more planning. He's gonna have more responsibility, is the way I looked at it. Especially since this committee isn't gonna be around, so. And I have to say, I don't know as if they, it's they, because it's staff, not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, they didn't seem to take into consideration anything that this board said anyway. Suggestions in regards to activities and things of that nature. And that's one of the reasons I see the reason that they hired James, is to do that. And that's why staff thinks that that is a staff position and not a board position, and that's why they're getting rid of the boards.
Well, I'll tell you, Ray, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into the fundraisers that we did to expand the senior center, and that's what that money was for.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were told, that's not your money, that's their money.
Yeah.
It was
I heard that too.
devastating.
I didn't
It
totally
was
understand it.
devastating, and I'm personally really
the lack of integrity.
relieved that we didn't do any more fundraising.
Where's the money?
It's in,
It's in their
it's in a
fund.
special account in the
I
budget.
think I saw it in the budget.
It's like $38,000.
But it needs to stay
They need to
earmarked.
spend that money on the senior center.
Yes. And it needs to be,
And not staff wages or utilities or anything like that. It needs to be spent on the senior center.
that's just basically keeping it from being a fraud situation.
I know.
Yeah.
That's one thing we're working on. This is kind of a segue. In 2022, Judy wrote a CIP for the trail, and we were
The Park Lake Nature Trail.
allocated $50,000, and it showed up in the budget every year, but it started going down.
Oh,
And this year, there was a line item in there, and it said $34,897 or something like that. And I asked Karen about it, and they had been using money out of that account, or out of that allocation, for surveys and other things, but they told me that that money isn't in the budget. And boy, is that confusing. If it's not in the budget, first of all, how is there any money to use? And if it's not in the budget, how can that number go down every year? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have X amount of dollars in the budget, or, you know, in the township, and it could very well start going away. I don't know how that
How
process
do we
works.
keep track of that? If we were to come to a board meeting, do we have a financial report of all all the accounts? So that we can keep track of that?
There is supposedly online, you can see the budget for 2026.
The budget, but can you see every month the balance of those accounts?
No, I don't think so. I don't even see that. An auditor sees, you know, they're audited every year by an independent firm. And
How
that's not.
do we keep track of it?
Well, I was gonna
That's
say,
what-
that's not to say that auditor is keeping track of your fundraising money, but
Right.
I did see a line item somewhere that said fundraising from the senior center. I'll have to find out where I saw that, but I
And
did see
things
that.
can be legal, but not just.
You mean them using that money? Yeah.
They may be able to find a way, and they did propose, as we may recall, putting exterior freezers or refrigerators on the building, and they said that would increase the footprint. Well, in the kitchen, the whole point was to increase it for the people using it, the seniors.
But you know, at this point.
Even though we want, with nothing against the kitchen staff, we love them, but the point of the fundraiser was to increase the size of the building for the use of seniors.
But if they're not gonna do that, Deb, then use it for the kitchen, but use it for the senior center.
Yeah, now that we're out of the picture, we're not really gonna have a say.
Yeah.
You're right, it's a better
That's something I have to
a
ask.
better thought than
What that money can be used for.
having it just disappear over time with different justifications.
I
So
think
I'm
we-
hoping that it will, though, yeah, I don't know, it's not enough money.
For for walk-in freezers.
Well, they might be able to figure that out to some degree, but it's not enough money to increase the size of the place, and since they're not interested in increasing the size of the place, we're probably looking at a second best.
I think the freezers were around 56,000.
Each.
That's what it was.
Didn't
And
they
I
put two
think we
freezers in?
have like,
They're
30
talking about having it be on the outside of the
Yeah,
building,
so
you
to
know,
make more
so like-
footprint in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, they need additional storage space.
Yeah.
at this
refrigerators and
point.
freezers, like they have
do-
at Monticello's
Since this is
outside.
the last meeting of this board, do we need to vote, or do we need to let them know that we approve them spending that money on expanding the kitchen for the walk-in freezer?
They don't care if we
No,
approve,
No, they don't.
for one thing at all. They don't care what we think, though I appreciate what you're trying to say. If, like, would we support it if that was their decision?
Could we?
I don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
Could we at least let them know that,
They don't care.
well, whether they care or not, I think we care. And we would know that we had a say at this level.
But I personally don't think they should necessarily that money should be spent on a freezer, personally.
Yeah, me either,
I mean, I
But they're
would.
not gonna, they're not going to,
because that's not how we
increase-
advertised those fundraisers. Those fundraisers were to increase the size of the building for senior use, to fit more seniors. That was the reason. And I almost hate, I get what you're saying, Gene, and I respect it. I just feel like we're backing down from the message that should be strong, and that's that we should always use integrity. And if we say that it's gonna be used for something, and that was the basis of the fundraiser, it needs to be used for that, even if it sits in that account. Now, it'd be really nice if that started earning some interest.
Yeah,
Did
it probably,
we-
if it was hard currency, then it would be earning interest.
It
Did
was
we-
hard currency, and it should be earning interest, but where's the interest going? Is it going,
That would go into the general
did
fund.
we have
Right,
the
and
board
not
approval
grow. And
in fact-
initially?
it would be
money-
nice if it would grow, it should grow.
Right.
Did
Plus,
we
it
have the
can be-
board approval initially to raise money for increasing the size of the senior center?
What board?
This board.
Way back in the
Yes.
day.
Yes. So it seems to me that if we have $40,000, it's almost $40,000. I was looking at my notes, but I don't have it. That could be useless for a match, so for a grant. I mean, and the expansion that we proposed is $150,000. So you're just talking about raising through grant money or donations from patrons, $100,000 for an expanded building. That's putting an expansion where the patio, I mean, where the deck is, making that a four-season room.
I don't remember who said it, but that is never gonna happen,
Well,
because the foundations are wrong and everything.
that's why
They
it's
said they would-
$150,000. That was included in the estimate
Redoing the
for making
foundation.
that a four-season room.
Oh, I see, okay.
Is to build a new foundation there. That's why it was so expensive.
And wouldn't
But
we
but it could be used for a matching grant through the Capital Region Foundation or through the Kellogg Foundation or through the Ford Foundation.
You said 40,000?
Yeah,
Close to that, yeah.
That right there is $160,000.
That's right, and it costs the estimate is $150,000. So we are passionate about not getting rid of that money because we have an opportunity, and the people who donated the money realize that that's what they donated for, and it seems to me we have to keep moving forward in that direction with that intent.
I don't see any flaws in that logic at all, but what I will tell everyone here is that from what I've been listening to, it's a possibility, once that study is done about the campus, that the senior center may not be the senior center anymore. It may be moved like to the community center or something of that nature. And so
It's smaller,
they don't want to do anything right now or anymore.
Doesn't
to-
even have
to
as
that
much
building-
parking.
To that building, because, number one, they don't have enough parking, and number two, they don't know what's gonna happen in
the
the near
community
future.
center has less parking than the senior center.
Well, you know,
Yes.
if we were allowed, I know that I would be more than willing to donate my time to do any, like a fundraiser, any kind of a fundraiser. Many of us, I'm sure would.
Yeah,
Right,
they don't
And
want,
build that, yeah, we just can't get an approval for that.
Well, you can do a fundraiser, you don't need approval for
Oh,
that.
yes, we
we
do.
do.
They won't let
Oh,
us do a fundraiser.
You can do a
Well-
fundraiser anytime you want. I can do one in my backyard. Nobody's gonna tell you you can't do a fundraiser, cause they can't by law.
they,
And you're
they
gonna
told
put
us
money into a
because they
fund that you have
oversee
no
us,
control over.
because the board oversees us.
We are no longer.
And, right, but that was the premise of the fact that we couldn't do a fundraiser.
Ah, exactly.
And they did say, well, why don't you guys like create your own 503C, and have your own nonprofit to do that? And it's like, but if you're not gonna work with us when we're under your,
Auspices.
yes, thank you, that's the word I was looking for, actually. Why would you listen to anything we say? And how could we, in good conscience, create a 503C and create this with this vision, knowing that they're not gonna work with us and it's not gonna happen? Then we lack integrity. And I'm not gonna be that person.
Well, there's a dichotomy there, because I don't think a nonprofit could direct, in fact, they couldn't, direct a municipality on what to do with X amount of money,
No,
Even
I-
if you gave them the money, they're
So
not
Jean,
legally-
what did you say?
Right.
What did you say just before they were talking, as they were
Well, I
talking?
said, why would we raise money to put it into a fund that we have no control over?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if we can do fundraisers on our own, we put it in our own account, right?
Yes.
But then you're talking about township property, and you can't
Now, wait a
increase.
minute, where'd that come in at?
Because because the senior center is their property.
I get it, but are we using the senior center for something?
No, why would you be raising money for what?
The idea would be to grow the senior center, yes.
Right.
So it would be to put in the fund for growing the senior center.
But we have no control over that fund, and we
Oh, it
have
wouldn't go
no,
directly to them, we'd hold on to that, and that would be,
But they don't have to agree to any kind of collaboration.
Yeah, you could do that. You could raise money a private a 501c3 could raise money and hold that in escrow and put forth a letter to the township saying, you know, we have X amount of money and we would like to donate this for the purposes of the senior center and only for the senior center, and it's to be used only for the senior center. You could do that. Have an attorney draw it up.
We've done it. We have almost 40,000 in
Right.
there.
But somebody said that you've been told that that was the township's money and not your money.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
But that's not,
I don't know how that works.
that's not how we raise the
They
money.
have been delicate about it, though.
Yeah.
They have, like, the comments about adding the
wouldn't go
freezer
over
on the
too well.
outside. Yeah, it wouldn't go over very well with the community,
No.
and they know that. So they know they can't blatantly just say, we're gonna use it for what we want. What they did was say, we think it could be interpreted this way, and it would still be benefiting them, in addition to, and you're not the boss of us, so you don't get to tell us what to do. So it's been that combination of justifying its use in a different, slightly different way, in their opinion, and telling us, mind your business. You're here to advise. You don't have a say.
I don't think they've done it yet, though,
Done what?
to use that money.
No, they haven't.
No, it's still there.
They haven't. But
And I don't think we would authorize the use of that for any other purpose at this time, you know? Just because it was hard currency. You guys
How would we
got,
be able to stop them when we're no longer?
you couldn't stop them. There would be, I mean, it wouldn't be an illegal way for you to do it, because it is technically their money, because
it's been
the
commingled, so to
fundraiser
speak.
was handled or, you know, it went on under the auspices of the township.
But it was approved for the, with the.
That understanding.
The understanding, and on all of our, on the tickets, on the flyers, on everything, it was for the expansion of the senior center. And that's what it was approved for by the board. That's why we had the fundraiser.
Also, the board did approve it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did
they
just
approved
fundraise
board.
the board approval, yeah.
It was newer,
I know,
yeah, the newer board said, you shouldn't be doing that. And we're like, but previous boards said, yeah, you can, and we've been doing it. Well, don't do that anymore.
The one I'm on?
Yeah. Well, and just before you,
I was gonna say before
just
me.
before him, yeah. Because Ryan was here talking to us directly. So, yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah, that's,
another thing we should talk about.
yeah. So we didn't, see, that's part of the problem with the way that we've been painted, is that we've been painted as being unreasonable and going off half-cocked and doing this stuff on our own, and that is just not the truth. It's just completely untrue. I mean, when they fund an architect to draw up what it would cost to do an expansion, and then say, why are they going off, doing this when we haven't expressed an interest in expanding the senior center? It's like, well, clearly you have, because
They
you paid
paid
for
it.
the architect. So
They
you
paid
can't
it.
have it both ways, but they they literally mocked us and laughed at us during a, township board meeting, and acted like we were the ones just going off and like we were getting bids. It's like, we're not getting bids, we're getting estimates, because how can we propose something to you?
Without
And we're
knowing
not
what it
getting,
costs.
we're not getting estimates in official capacity. We're not saying we have the authority to hire you. We're saying, what would this type of thing cost, so that we can go forward and say, hey, this is what we have, this is what it would cost. We'd like you guys to look into this. So we're doing the legwork. That's all we were doing.
You're advising.
Yes. Thank you.
It says Senior Services Advisory Board.
And that's what we were doing, and we were treated like we had this, like a dog with a bone. We had this thing we wanted to do, and no one on the board had said anything like that. How did they even think that this would be something that interests us? And they laughed, they literally laughed at us. And,
Can I ask a favor? I would like you particularly, you're very eloquent about it. And I will say that Judy and other people have some friction there. And a new, well, I don't know if you're a new face, but a different face, maybe,
well, knew them,
you know,
yeah, newer to them.
and it's just a suggestion, no offense at all.
No.
Put forth a speech like that and bullet points, that you wanna know some answers. And the reason is because, all the efforts over the years you guys have put in. And then I will make a motion to get you on the, agenda. I can't say that I guarantee you a place on the agenda, but the reason you wanna be on the agenda is because you get more than 3 minutes to talk. And
Oh,
you
I
get
see.
You
feedback.
get a conversation.
Yeah, you get a
a
conversation, you actually get
discussion.
feedback from the
But
board.
what do we think, though, what's the end result? I mean, what are we
Well, we
hoping,
don't-
what are we hoping for? Because if that happens,
That's what you have to put down paper. What are you hoping for?
what would I be hoping for,
And
y'all?
what are you advocating for? You're advocating for the seniors in Bath Township. And this is what we envision, and this is what we seek, and, you
I
know.
think the only thing that
What do you think about
that
that?
I think would be worthwhile, knowing everything I know and having the experiences we've all had, is that I think it does need to be strongly asked that that money be
Well, that
off
too.
limits.
And
That
that's
that money be off limits, and be used as it was originally intended, and that, that they consider like we talked about, grants and matching fund situations to
Yeah, and historically, grants are usually 25% matching.
Yeah, they need
And
to, we
so
need to ask them to
that
protect it for
$40,000
that,
would equate
for that
to a
reason.
$160,000 grant.
Wait a minute, you said 25%?
25, usually grants through the state, like the DNR Trust Fund grant, you're required to put a minimum of 25%
Oh, I see.
of the
Okay.
amount you're trying to borrow.
so you've got skin in the
I get
game.
it now. I'm
So-
thinking 25% of 40,000 isn't 160.
You just kind
Okay,
of, you
got
kind of
it.
work backwards, you know, say, okay, how much money do we have? We have 40,000, so
Yeah, times 4.
multiply that times 4, and that's what we're gonna ask for.
I
But I will tell you that any place that is state or even federal, the more you contribute over what the minimum is, the better chance you have of getting that grant.
Oh,
Like
we
if,
would love
like
to
if
add to
the
it.
matching fund was 25%, then if we put in 35 or 40%, you're more likely to get the money you're asking for.
And that would mean that the township board would have to donate a portion of the budget towards the grant,
Or agree to let us do fundraisers.
right?
I think that-
I did find, the Bath Seniors Advisory Board business plan for the Elvis concert, and that was in 2018. And under the objectives, it was said fundraise a net profit of 3,500, that was their objective, for our building expansion account.
Who said that?
That's what when we raise money, that's what the township board, the administration puts the money into the at that point in time,
Building
2018,
expansion
the
account.
Bath Senior Center expansion account.
Okay, and that's where that's
That
what
was-
that 40,000 is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
part of that. Okay, well,
They don't call it that anymore, I don't think, but that's what they used to call it.
I think,
It is in there, I mean.
yeah, I've seen that line item,
It's
senior
with the
services
Bath-
fund account or something
It's with
like
the
that.
Bath Fest money, you know, it's in one of those special,
And another thing I
Things
would
at the end.
suggest is don't give up on fundraisers, by no means. You can come to the township and say, you know, we wanna have a fundraiser on behalf of the senior center, and knowing full well where the money would go once you get that. And I don't see any reason why I'll vote for it, hell yeah, I'll vote for it. And I wanna tell you also that there's at least 3 of us on the board that are pro-senior. And I would assume that Al Rosecrans is too. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is we have to have 4 votes to have a majority.
yeah, but we didn't get those 4 votes when they voted to disband the Senior Center Advisory Board.
No.
No, so
I would have been the only, well, to my knowledge, I would have been the only one.
Sherry voted against it, she told me herself.
Yeah, and in that she voted against it, that's why I just went with the crowd, because I knew it was inevitable. That's why I just,
And before you were on the board, when we were having all these conversations and, you know, talking about, doing the expansion, they wouldn't even bring it to a vote. And I do not believe that's because of lack of interest, like they said. I believe it's a political reason.
well, I was
They
told.
don't want to be on record as saying that they voted against the senior issue.
And see, what I
They,
gleaned
why
is,
not bring it up for a vote? We've spent the money for the architect.
what I was told, and
Yeah, I'm still
what
in the
I've
meeting.
heard,
Yeah.
is that
Shouldn't be much longer.
they don't vote on something that they don't have a concrete amount that is gonna be spent.
Okay.
That's what Ryan said. He said, I'll vote no on anything that doesn't show an amount that I'm gonna be okaying. So just an expansion, you know, they wouldn't vote.
Well, again, it wasn't there was an architect's drawing, and there was also.
Yeah, I don't understand. I
we had bu-
remember
we
when
had-
when
we
that
had also
architect's study was done.
A budgeted amount,
Yeah.
so, again, we had no expectations of a blank check.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of the implication of saying, I'm not gonna vote on anything,
Yeah.
that's not, doesn't have a specific amount, is acting like you're asking me to write a blank check.
Yeah.
Again, it's the whole concept of, you guys are being unreasonable. And that's the concerning thing, and has been, that we have thought things through, we have gone above and beyond, trying to give them all the information they need to make decisions and to see if it's something worth going forward on, even if it's to look further.
Write all that down.
I said a lot of this at the podium.
Oh, yeah.
But
I said it, and I said it to them, and I picked out each one that had mocked us, and I said, and,
When did you do
this
that?
was said, just before you were on the
I
board.
was gonna say, I don't remember.
Yeah, because they did, they made fun of us, and I said,
Did they do
you
this?
pretty close. Was it previous police chief?
Phillips.
Yeah, he was. He, laughed at us, like laughed out loud, and said, they give us 80 ideas, and, oh, that's just really like, and I said, yeah, we're an advisory board. There's no expectation you're gonna implement 80 different ideas. It's just, these have all been mentioned, and here's how here's how they fall. I said, but instead you laugh, because that would make us look unreasonable, and you don't have to listen to us. You take away our voice, because who has to listen to someone who's unreasonable?
Well, and
And I
that's,
went through each one, and when I talked about how, why, like, they laughed and said, why would we, why would they put all this work into it when we've expressed no interest at all? And I said, the fact that you spent, I said, you're right, that sounds reasonable, except, or I said, that sounds unreasonable, except you paid for an architect. So clearly you were interested in pursuing the possibility, and their lawyer sat here and nodded with me. I'm sure they didn't appreciate that.
Jean?
Okay, I have the Bath Charter Township donations and fundraising policy that was approved by the Board of Trustees on March 2nd, 2015. And in there, it says donated funds given for a specific purpose shall be classified restricted.
oh,
So those funds should be classified restricted because those donations were given for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
And expanding the senior center is only gonna make the senior center worth more money. So it's like, we're not throwing money away.
Typing it out.
It's gonna increase the value of the senior center.
Right. I'm gonna look in the budget that I have at home and see if that's how they still categorize it, restricted
Well, it was
funds.
approved by the Board of Trustees on March 2nd, 2015, that those funds would be restricted. I don't know how can you vote then, once you pass this,
To do anything different,
pardon me?
to do anything differently. How can you vote to?
Right.
I'm
This
gonna
is-
ask, is the senior center money, is the senior center fundraising money restricted?
Restricted.
That's what I'm
It
gonna
should
ask.
be.
I
Yeah,
first said
have
what
a
it's gonna be
restricted
used for.
status.
Ben, do you have any comments you wanna add?
It's your last chance, Ben.
The only comments I have is, I've seen too many of the seniors coming from the backside of the lot using walkers when the police officers park at the end of the building out here.
And
I mentioned to James one day when I was in there about the possibility of making those 4 or 5 slots handicap. But that's as far as it ever got. But they always park there, even on the days that you have a large crowd.
How many, do you have the
So-
legal amount of handicap spots at the senior center?
We have what's required by law.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's it.
asking.
It's a minimum.
I guess there's
But
no
what
reason why
Ben
you
is
couldn't
saying
have
is
more.
that as regular practice, the police, because the staff has increased, are now parking in the spots that were supposed to be for the senior center. And they're taking up our valuable spots,
The police
the
are,
staff at the
Yes,
police
they are.
department.
And then the police
There
are,
was- there was
should be
even one day
physically,
where they-
Wait,
One of
let
their
Ben speak,
vehicles
please.
had a trailer parked down, clear down at the back. and taken up about 5 or 6 spots because of the way he was parking crossways of those lots.
Right
So-
there, the police department does not respect the senior center and its parking.
No, but they raised the devil when we parked behind the building.
Yeah, I've been threatened
they
to have my
arrest you?
car towed.
They
I've
don't
had
arre-
I've been threatened to have my car towed.
If they didn't arrest you, I'd park there anyway.
They're gonna tow the car.
But the maintenance staff park right there across from the senior center.
Yeah, I don't know why the DPW can't just park up
Why
here.
can't they
and leave
park
those
down
right,
there?
Leave those spots for the senior center, they know we need them.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments from the board members?
I like the idea of a fundraiser.
Me too.
If you guys wanna do that, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to.
I would
Well,
love to. How about a spaghetti dinner?
There is no reason
some
why you
Friday
shouldn't be
night?
able to. Excuse me?
How about a spaghetti dinner some night?
Can we
Sure.
use the kitchen?
Or how about a that?
Well, and
We have to
that's
get
what you'd
an
have to do.
approval for
Can you
that.
use the kitchen? you know?
Well, and when we got money for the kitchen from the community foundation, that was one of the requirements, was that the township allow this kitchen to be used by the community.
Well-
And they haven't yet.
I was gonna say, you need to bring that out in a written document and point it out to the present board.
Karen signed that document.
Okay?
And how about a VFW, well, it wouldn't have to be VFW, but I'd go to Langsberg, you go to Langsberg, to VFW on a Sunday for breakfast.
For breakfast,
Couldn't
yep.
we- Yeah, couldn't we do something like that here? You
Oh,
know?
at the senior center, it'd be great, once a
Yeah.
month, yeah.
I mean, here we are, we're traveling to Langsberg to do it. How
Yeah.
many people could we get right here?
I agree. I agree, but it's whether or not they will allow us to use the kitchen.
Right.
And you can't drink the water at the community center, so you can't cook at the community center, so
Well,
it's.
wait a minute, I've got the community center rented for Sunday. Why can't I drink the water?
You can.
I was told that the well water is unsafe to drink there. Did they not tell you that when you rented the
They
building?
did not tell me anything like that.
Well, you better ask at the front desk.
I have the same aquifer at my house, and I
You
have a
have
well.
what?
I have a
Nothing
well.
wrong with you.
I have a well too, but
Got a tick.
the community center well is really old,
Oh, really?
really, really.
Mine was put down in 1987.
Well, theirs was put down.
Well, I'm not gonna say that's old. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
That's not old.
That's a kid.
Any other comments to come before the last meeting of the Senior Services Advisory Board?
No.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your service.
You have something else to do.
Hmm?
You have something to do besides lunch,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
We are done.
We're done. Thanks for letting me be here for this short amount of time.
Hey, we really appreciate you being here. Yes, you have been a